right, welcome everybody. I'm here at Wallack's Gallery with Andrew Beck, a friend of mine, a painter. We're going to do a little interview, chat about some of his work. And yeah, so Andrew, welcome.
Cheers, that's good.
Cheers, thanks for being here. Yeah. So I'm wondering, for the first question, when is your interest in painting? When did it start? What interests you about the medium?
Well, like most painters, probably, been interested in art since I was, a really young kid.
Yeah.
Always interested in colour, drawing,
Your paintings often, to me, seem kind of like a story, or like there's a portion of a story taking place that you don't really know how it starts or how it ends. But I'm wondering, do you consider yourself a storyteller, or that your paintings are interested in narrative, or is that me reading into your work?
No, I think that's a fair point. I think I don't always have like a planned story for painting. Sometimes it's just like certain images that look good together, or you can see certain possibilities. But sometimes you have an idea of not a story, but some kind of narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to try and put that across. But,
yeah, that makes sense. Not like a really defined sense of the story, but you're interested in creating the feeling of the story through like the combined elements.
Yeah, some kind of an atmosphere.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, your paintings often feature Frank Lloyd Wright houses, modernist architecture, also stuff from the Soviet Union, or like brutalist style. I'm wondering what your interest in architectural history from these two time periods is.
Yeah, well, I've always been interested in architecture. It was something I wanted to be when I was young. I was an architect. But anyway, I think when I started including architecture into my paintings, it was a way to define space, or bring space into the scenarios. It's a good device for putting people in different contexts, combining people, trying to make it believable.
Yeah, that makes sense. It plays a big part in like helping set the stage or the atmosphere in your works.
Yeah.
Would you say, like I feel a sense of nostalgia often when I look at your work? Some of your works particularly, maybe it's just because they appear to be set in a certain time, certain cars. Is nostalgia something that you're interested in portraying, or is that, again, me reading into it?
Not specifically interested in nostalgia, but I think there's certain maybe figures from history that are important in various ways, and to bring those into your paintings, you can kind of carry some of that weight in, and it can give a clue to maybe the idea you're thinking of when you compose the painting.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. Do you think, I know that you're a technical painter, you're interested in like the medium of painting.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me, like, what is your standard like working palette?
Well, I guess titanium white,
Yeah.
Yellow ochre, I guess raw umber, sap green,
Okay.
and alizarin crimson, and then adding in maybe like either a black or like Prussian blue, or turquoise, something like that.
Okay.
Various like transparent colours if you need to get a bit more punch.
So that's kind of like the standard vehicle, and then you'll sort of add in
Yeah.
little ingredients here and there, tweak it.
Yeah, I find when you start to use too many colours, things get a bit messy, and you sort of lose the feeling of coherency from painting to painting.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're also interested in using like rendering systems, but also like blurring and sort of experimenting with the system. How do you think that impacts the meaning in paintings?
Well, I mean, artists like Richter, some of the first to use blur type techniques, and it kind of changes the painting to almost look a bit photographic, and so sometimes with the images I use, some of them are quite famous photographs I reference, and I suppose by using those kind of techniques, you're kind of separating them out from being just painted in objects, trying to make people focus more on the actual source material, and sort of taking some of the painting aspect out of it. But then at other times you want to focus on the painting, see some nice brush strokes, things like that. And these sort of contrasts help give a painting more interest as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That ties pretty well into like the idea of process. Like how would you explain how you sort of like start a painting? Maybe you start with source images, you work from sketches.
Yeah, I mean, usually I scour the internet to find the kind of images I'm looking for, and that sort of almost takes as long as creating the painting itself. Yeah. And then so my next stage will be bring that into, I use Illustrator and kind of combine and crop photographs down until I've got something that looks quite interesting. And then I'll start drawing that out on the canvas and blocking in, working out from there really. Yeah.
So how much do your paintings develop during the process of being painted? Like if you're describing and sort of creating like the working image that your painting is based on, is a lot of decisions like color and stuff made during the painting, or you'll shift things, or is it more a template to execution kind of process?
It's funny, I think about that a lot, and I know you often kind of will work and the painting changes quite a lot as you go. But for me, I do try to kind of make these decisions beforehand. Sometimes do like a little study first, but sometimes you can be well into something and you just look at it and it's not working, and then I'll just paint things out, change things around completely.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's sometimes it's pre-planned, sometimes it isn't. Yeah,
kind of a mix.
Yeah,
very interesting. What are your future plans? Are you working on any projects now? Any new bodies of work?
Well, kind of coming sort of to the end of my current body of work, and I've got some sort of ideas for my next project. So I'm going to probably start off small, do some works on paper just to get warmed up a bit, and then hopefully start making some bigger paintings. Maybe some really big paintings.
Okay. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Andrew. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure to see your work and to chat about painting.
Cheers.
So.